Hello there, Common Wolf from here, and let's get straight into it after you leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell. Number 1. Darknotes. First new appearance in a Zelda game since Twilight Princess. 2. Appearance based on Link's Awakening Switch, which makes sense as this game is developed using Unreal Engine 4 and the same minimalistic art style. The Darknotes are holding Axis, a combination of past designs where they have been primarily seen with swords, over the Link's new cape, not seen before, used by the hero in top-down games. Number 5. This one is reminiscent of Twilight Zonai or Sheikah design, though it doesn't have to mean much. Link also wields a new sword of unknown origin. It could be an upgraded Master Sword, as the blade has tradition to change shape in both A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, though more likely it is a new blade. Next to it, Link is wielding the Hylian shield design, the standardized version since Skyward Sword, and then seen in A Link Between Worlds, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in Hyrule, though here it is seen in its minimalist Link's Awakening Switch design. The purple crystal holding Zelda is very similar to the one Ganondorf dropped on Zelda in Ocarina of Time. Hoodless Link's design is identical from Link's Awakening Switch. Could this really be the hero of legend, or a different Link who looks identical due to the minimalistic art style? Number 10. The battle against Ganon takes place in Hyrule, not the Dark World, Lorule, or some other foreign land or dimension. 11. Link can jump much like in Link's Awakening during the battle against Ganon. Ganon has a dual-shaped trident replicating the design from Link's Awakening, and it is being used as a racket in yet another classic tennis match, a staple since the first match against Aghanim in A Link to the Past. Link defeats Ganon, but his trident remains and opens up the first rift. 15. This in itself indicates that Ganon is likely not finished and awaits somewhere at the other side of the rift. This is also hinted through the official box art, and next to him we have none other than possibly possessed by Ganon Link. Will we fight the hero to free him of his corruption? 18. Before potentially being forced to serve Ganon, Link fires off an arrow to break the crystal, upon which he's stolen away by the rift with his sword, bow and shield. Are these potential weapons wielded by Link in a future boss fight against Zelda? 20. Zelda's freed, but behind her is a stone inscribed with Morse code-like signage. 21. Before the rift expands, it seems that Zelda picked up the hood Link threw off prior to his duel with Ganon. We see it is left behind as Link vanishes, and Zelda wears it throughout the game. Zelda runs away until she falls, and the rift halts its expansion as night turns into day. We see majestic Hyrule, an evolution of the Link to the Past style, open up in the character of Breath of the Wild. Naturally, this reveal serves as the title drop, both in the direct and likely the game itself. Number 25. Echoes of Wisdom is the 21st Zelda game, and the first we play as Princess Zelda. The opening of Link might be playable, though it might also be just an opening cutscene. Hopefully, the former is the case, as it will grant us a literal passing of the torch from the end of Link's quest to the beginning of Zelda's. This is by all means a role swap from Tears of the Kingdom, though in that game we never got to control or even switch to play as Zelda in the opening minutes. Across Hyrule, we see a number of familiar landmarks from A Link to the Past. After all, the map is largely based on this overworld. In this particular scene, they are 29. Pond of Happiness in Lake Hylia, 30. The Eastern Palace, 31. Zora River and the path to Zora's Waterfall, but 32 at the same time there are several absences from the map, the first being the Fortune Teller's house. The second is Link's house, where we started our adventure, both in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. 34. Hyrule Castle, but within it we find a brand new settlement for this map, Castle Town, further confirmed with its fountain in the box art. 35. It isn't the only expansion to the world, as Hyrule itself has been expanded in scope with new explorable areas, for instance, east of the Eastern Palace in this scene. Behind the castle we can see the Tower of the Sanctuary. It requires upscaling and contrasting, but it is there. Unlike in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, or most of the Zelda titles for that matter, the volcano of Hyrule is located in the west. This is further confirmed by the box art, where it stands above Kakariko, now with a windmill and a brick tower south of it. Though 39, due to the changed world, Kakariko and its landmarks are not visible in the title reveal scene. 40. The same art also confirms that the eastern mountain chain has snow-covered peaks. I wonder which of the two formations are Death Mountain though, or is it Death Mountain and Hebra, just like in Breath and Tears, but mirrored location-wise. As we're still in the official box art, let's go over a few more details, like the return of pieces of hearts. These have been absent in the world in both Breath and Tears. And the piece of heart in question is placed on top of a pillar, which might require gliding from a high position or construction to reach. More on those very soon. Next to it, we can see that the spiky pias are back and are certain to be an annoyance. 45. Octrogs are a part of the Zelda wrap, so naturally they're also found in the cover art. We also see a chest buried and requiring some tool to be surfaced and opened up by Princess Zelda. All of this is part of producer Eiji Aonuma's and the Zelda team's target to break conventions for top-down 2D Zelda. 48. The Hylian soldiers approach Princess Zelda and bow in front of her to escort her back to the castle, where they might later end up possessed. This in itself, 49, will be true to what happened in A Link to the Past. And 50, just like in that game, Zelda ends up imprisoned in Hyrule Castle's dungeon, but instead of being freed by Link, she's introduced to this game's fairy companion, Tri. And this scene is also mirroring a different prison cell introduction, namely that of Midna in Twilight Princess. In both cases, their powers are instrumental in breaking out, here through the Tri-Rod and its ability to create echoes of objects. Echoes are imitations of objects Zelda interacts with the Tri-Rod, allowing her to drop them in front of her. Each piece of object has a price to use though, at least a triangle attached to Tri. Which begs the question, did Tri show up as Princess Zelda holds the Triforce of Wisdom? Number 55. Tri starts out naturally with 3 triangles, which we could shape a mini Triforce of. The same as Zelda's numbers of heart containers when we start playing as her, though both can later be expanded. In the case of Tri, we see her later having 4 attached. After her escape from the cell, Zelda changes attire and puts on the hood previously covering Link's cap to hide her true identity. We see her already sporting this look as she creates an echo of a table and a bed, with already a jar in her inventory. All of these are found in the underground floor of Hyrule Castle. We know these are from the beginning of the game, as Tri still only holds 3 triangles. 59. In the same underground level, we witness how Zelda's retainer and bodyguard Impa of the Sheikah, based on the crest, beats up 3 likely possessed Hylian soldiers. We can place the scene here as Zelda's already in her disguise. 60. Though it appears that already here the rift might expand, as Tri has only 3 triangles, while Zelda is being chased by the rift in the basement of Hyrule Castle. Could the entire castle be swallowed by the rift at some point in the game, and end up at the other side? Luckily in this scene, there's a waterway out for Zelda. Breaking out from her imprisonment, Zelda enters Hyrule's capital, Castletown, the first of its kind in Hyrule in a top-down perspective, proper since the Minish Cap. Remember, Spirit Tracks was in New Hyrule. Here we find the traditional medieval architecture, the fountain sporting the royal crest like in Twilight Princess, a well, and a house which has partially been rifted away by Ganon's trident. The house is guarded by a soldier and surrounded by several capital inhabitants. One of them stands next to an entrance to the town and castle walls, and what might be the town hall or a temple. Next to it, we also find the weather vane, or weathercock, used in past games for fast travel, though likely for something else in this game. Either way, upon her inspection of Castletown, Zelda exits from the southern town gate with the soldiers noticing her, but thanks to the disguise being unaware that the princess is under that hood. Notice as well that Tri holds only 3 triangles, pointing to the opening chronology that we've been following so far. Well, apart from what happened before, namely that a number of her subjects, along with her hero Link, have indeed been stolen away by the rifts, and that includes this poor lady on a walk with her likely husband. From the gate, it is likely that Zelda made her way to the previously mentioned Kakariko, as Tri still only holds 3 triangles. Here in southern Kakariko, Zelda creates an echo from a box. Above her, we can see a fenced plot of land designated for animals. Could this one serve for a minigame offered from the NPC next to it? Perhaps it holds horses, maybe even a Epona, based on the water containers. Or perhaps they're just cuckoos. Either way, to Zelda's right is a covered well and a mysterious glowing rock that we'll soon detail. 69. From Kakariko, it seems that even without upgrading Tri, we can already reach the Great Deku Tree, as we can see Tri is only holding 3 triangles in this scene. From here on out, Zelda manages to upgrade Tri by giving her a 4th triangle, allowing her to drop 4 echoes of these tables next to a rift if she wants to. This is further confirmed as she builds herself stairs with said tables. using her 3 of her current 4 tri-triangles to do so. We can also see that more than the tri-rod will eventually be mapped to the D-pad, as it only takes up the right spot. Notice also the K right above the minimap. Within the minimap, we also see a yellow glowing symbol with similar Morse code signage from the rock she dropped in front of the link vanished. 74. The following rock Zelda heads up to could be our points of fast travel upon activation and Echoes of Wisdom, as a bird looks down at it, and Zelda. It looks like we have a lot of freedom of movement in this game, all to match the level of freedom we've gotten used to in the open-air 3D games. 75. Zelda is able to enter some rifts early in the game as seen with the water block, but perhaps not at the very beginning, seeing that Zelda stands on top of an echo of a table while Tri still has 3 triangles left. Keep this scene in mind, we'll soon return to it, but water blocks can be used for floating up to higher elevations. 76. We see this clearly north of Kakariko on the way up to the volcano, as indicated by the windmill on the minimap in the northern part of the settlement. 77. Much like Link, Zelda can jump while solving puzzles, and unlike Tears Link, open an inventory to sort and select echoes. The interface appears to be near identical to the one of arrow fusing and item throwing in Tears of the Kingdom. Hopefully, it will be less frustrating. At least here, Zelda uses a decorative shrub to stop the gust of wind. With Zelda's echoes, it is likely that the princess will be able to cross most of the map right after exiting Castletown for the first time. Case in point with 3 hearts in the desert, where Zelda uses 3 old beds and a trampoline to enter yet another settlement. 79. Gerudo Town, as indicated by the sandstone houses and the Gerudo within the walls. Though 80. The Hylians, Gerudo, Sheikah as seen from Impa and this professor, Sheikah Lamp, and Hat are not the only races showing up in Hyrule, since the Riverzoras have for the first time in Hyrule in top-down Zelda been joined by the Caesars, and clearly the Riverzora are not happy. There are also Deku business shrubs, which begs the question, could there also be Gorons in the volcano and other races hiding throughout the land? Either way, the water path to the Zora is covered by rifts, and possibly shops? 81. Monsters upon being defeated, like for instance this moblin by an effing rock, will drop an echo that can also be summoned. Each moblin will fight by your side at the minimum expense of 2 of Tri's echoes, like here where they're protecting the 3-heart Zelda from Green Zol, upon defeat also granting her rupees. Some however, like the Re-Dead, will take 3 echo triangles to summon. We know this as Zelda has used all her echoes to send out the screaming terror against moblins. Traps can also be turned into echoes, some of them, like the Blade Trap, only requiring 1 triangle or echo to use against clearly not giant enemy crabs. These will also upon defeat drop echoes of themselves. By the way, could this be near the coast? 84. Based on the sea urchin and the echo Zelda gains, there might be one. Also, a starfish. Looks like there is indeed a sea in this game. Same is the case with presence of aquatic enemies, where Zelda uses the echo of a defeated anglerfry at the cost of 2 triangles to blow up a bombfish and gain its echo. That is right, Zelda can swim underwater in rather large water sections, including where she created that water block, but watch out for that draining oxygen meter. Or the jellyfish like Electric Blue Bari at a later point in the game. At least here, it seems that Zelda no longer needs to worry about her oxygen, but rather being chased by a water trap. There seems to be a lot of water in this game, hence why using beds for construction is a wise idea to keep dry, especially in what might be a water dungeon. In the mountainous and volcanic areas, Zelda also gains or uses echoes of Deku Baba at the cost of 2 echo triangles to defeat an unnamed enemy after using an echo for meat to distract or trap them. The Pihat, however, requires 3 echoes to fly or glide down the mountains and in other areas. In the volcanic territory, Zelda will also gain a Lizalfos-like enemy echo and an unnamed bird enemy which only requires 1 echo in order to glide across lava. But that is too much volcano, so welcome to the jungle. A landscape definitely not in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. Zelda might appear to be trapped by the palm trees, but that is what stairs of a box, bed, table and a trampoline are made for, all witnessed by a terrified but tropical parrot returning from Link's Awakening. And it isn't the only wildlife present in the game, since on the roof in the Kakariko scene we see a cat. Wonder if we can make an echo of this one for a cat companion, and if not, it should at least be pettable. Let's go back to enemies, or enemy weapon. since this mechanical Octorok, potentially engineered by the professor, requires no echoes to blow up moblins. Oh, and gain that chest. Back to the echoes, since Zelda can also create echoes of signs. Plus windblowers. Excuse me, princess, but it may be a little big for a head/blow dryer. We're not done with real enemies though, as we also have the Skulltula, which can create a climbable path at 2 echo triangles each. Yet another brand new foe. This candle, which then turned into an echo, will light things up at the cost of 2 triangles. The only boss teased in the trailer after Ganon. What is more interesting is that Zelda is facing it while Tri only has 3 triangles. In other words, rather early in the game. And 100, the Japanese title of the game, Zelda no Densetsu Kie no Kari Mono. Translated, The Legend of Zelda Borrowed Wisdom. And that's 100 details in the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom review. I can't wait for September 26, though I will not be picking up the Switch Lite due to the Switch 2 reveal being less than 6 months away at this point. If you enjoyed this video and want us to do more for potential future trailers, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell. Last but not least, this video would not have been possible without you who watched it and the support of our patreon.com/Comeron patrons. Special shoutouts go to raw producers Zach Johnson and JC Funk, and heroes Holly Wolf, Cheryl and Garrett Hoy. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these 2 awesome videos.